Good afternoon. My name is Heather McLaughlin-Garbez, and along with my colleague Maria Ministu, we welcome you to the 45th Annual Kalevala Festival. In the past year, our world has changed dramatically with the spread of COVID-19 and the shift from us working, meeting, and rehearsing online from our homes. We too have been rehearsing from our homes during this time and look forward to sharing with you this wonderful program about the healing power of music. Music is known to have benefits on both our physical and mental health, and this presentation will share the music of nature through birds, the soothing healing of a lullaby, and how the power of song brings us together to heal a community. Thank you for spending this time with us.
Laula, laula, peitoseni, kuku, kuku, kultaseni, ääni laskee laulamaan, anna aikasi iloon.
Ota kaunis kantelesi,
Ota kaunis kantelesi, soitto kultainen kuljetaan, käännä sormet soittamaan, kielet soppeen sovitaan. Jotta kuulisi kuillaan, kajataisi kankahilla, sekä soitto, jotta laulu, jotta ainen ilosi. Kuulisi kyliä, kajataisi kaiken paitsi sansa soija soitto, ilo kaunis Kajalassa.
laula, laula.
Laula, laula, peitoseni, kuku, kuku, kultaseni, ääni laske laulamaan, anna aikasi iloon.
Hello, my name is Marita Toivonen, and I am a pastor and a musicologist from Helsinki, Finland. What is Kalevala? The Kalevala is a grand book, a collection of epic poems and old poetic songs known as runolaulu or rune songs, compiled from Finland and the Karelian region. The Kalevala was written in the 19th century by Elias Lönnrot. As a young man, while he was studying to be a doctor, Elias Lönnrot made several trips to Karelia, to the northeastern region of Finland, and he wrote down old runes that he heard there. More than 70 different people sang these old runes to him on request. Lönnrot compiled and edited various versions of these poems in the collection. The first version of the rune collection was released almost 200 years ago, and a second, longer version, the one we know as the Kalevala, was published about 170 years ago in 1849. Elias Lönnrot also published a collection of traditional poetic songs called the Kanteletar. You will hear songs from the Kalevala and Kanteletar in this program today. Elias Lönnrot and other university colleagues set out in the early 19th century to collect old rune songs. The young students went on trips to the easternmost regions of Finland and to the northeast Vienan-Karjala, White Karelia, near the White Sea. They walked into small villages where there wasn't always even a road. And as they walked from house to house, they asked if there were any people in the house or village who could sing old runes. Some singers knew hours or even days worth of runes to sing in one sitting. The students wrote down the verses of these songs by shorthand. Then later, on returning home, the notes were transcribed. Rune singing had previously been a common skill of the people, and it had also been a tradition in the region of Western Finland until the 16th century. Rune singing was a whole genre of Finnish traditional music. However, other new types of music were displacing traditional runes elsewhere in Finland. The Kalevala runes are long and consist of pairs of verses in the eastern dialects of Finnish and Karelian. Kalevala poetry is characterized by alliteration, so several words in a row begin with the same sound, like Vaka vanha Väinämöinen. It sounds pleasant to the listener's ear and adds a driving rhythm to the song. Another special feature of Kalevala runes is a number of syllables per line, that is, the so-called Kalevala meter, usually in 4 pairs. This rune meter is probably several thousand years old. Who do we meet in the Kalevala? The Kalevala begins with the story of the birth of the world. Such myths about the origin of the world are familiar from all cultures. The runes of the Kalevala tell that the goddess or maiden of the air, Ilmatar, came to bath in a primordial sea. Then a large bird, a sea duck, flew to the scene, laying 7 eggs on Ilmatar's knee. And as Ilmatar moved herself, the eggs rolled down and the shells broke. The eggs and their shells formed the earth, the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all that is here. The most familiar of the Kalevala characters is Väinämöinen. Ilmatar gave birth to him in the waters of the early sea. Väinämöinen is a mythical, wise old man. Wisdom means, above all, the ability to sing and to control things with his singing. So he's a shaman. And he creates the first kantele to play music while he sings his magical chants. Other characters we meet in the Kalevala include Louhi, Lemminkäinen, and Ilmarinen. Louhi is the hostess and the ruler of the northern kingdom, and she also has the skill to control shamanistic forces. What is a Finnish rune? Rune singing is the most special kind of music of Finland and Baltic Finnish people. Rune singing has been the culture of the whole nation. Probably everyone has been able to sing, although there have always been special great singers. The themes of the songs are related to all walks of life, the circle of the year, celebrations, weddings, bear covers, entertaining and remembering, spells and healing. The Kalevala still inspires people in Finland and abroad. The stories are perhaps thousands of years old, and they might live on for thousands of years more.
Ei oo teistä laulajista, laulajista. Ei oo teistä laulajista, laulajista. Kuolla suista kukkujista, kukkujista. Kuolla suista kukkujista, kukkujista. Elle aina mie aloita, mie aloita. Mie aloita, mie lopeta, mie lopeta. Laulajista. Ei oo teistä laulajista, laulajista. Kuolla suista kukkujista, kukkujista. Kuolla suista kukkujista, kukkujista. Elle aina mie aloita, mie aloita. Mie aloita, mie lopeta, mie lopeta. Mie kun laululle rupean ja rupean. Mie kun laululle rupean ja rupean. No, laitan lauluni kerälle ja kerälle. Ja laitan lauluni kerälle ja kerälle. Sovittelen sommelolle, sommelolle. Sovittelen sommelolle, sommelolle. Ei, 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 ei.
So there are a lot of different kinds of shamanistic cultures, not only in Finland but in surrounding areas. So the people who in some point ended up in Finland and decided to live there, they actually came from the east. So the whole surroundings of Siberia in Russia, and then south from there are very many different kinds of peoples who share this kind of singing and incantation and most of all shamanistic tradition. So the people had this way of living, this animistic way of seeing the world, where everything in nature had a spirit and people were living in nature, of nature. And it's good to remember that this is not something that is only unique for Finland, but for instance in Estonia they have a similar kind of metric system living nowadays, and their national epic is quite the same as our Kalevala. And also the Icelandic rimur and trisongur, they have a lot of similarities to the Finnish runolaulu. So there's a bit of a concept around this, so that we kind of know where to put these kind of songs on the map and in history.
Etäkällon miu emoni etäkällä. Etäkällon miun emoi. Etäkällä yläkällä, etäkällä, etäkällä yläkällä. Kun mie saisin kuolleen kotiin, kun mie saisin ja kun mie saisin kuolleen kotiin, antaisin kätensä oman, antaisin kätensä oman. Antaisin jalkansa oman, antaisin jalkansa oman. Etäkällon miu emoni etäkällä, etäkällä miun emoi. Tuima on tuuli ja pimeä on taivas, suuri on ulapalla aaltojen raivo. Lahti on tyhjä ja selkeä vaan, kustamus kohtani kulkeekaan. Joudu jo kotiin ja lentosi heitä, taikka
Lintu pieni, kylläpä tiedät pesäsi paikan. Mäen alla männikössä, kuivan kuusen kukkuralla. Koivus on kotosi, kallios on kartanosi. Kuivan kuusen latvas on pesäs paikka. Koivus on kotosi, kalliollon kartanosi. Kuivan kuusen latvas on pesäs paikka. Kuivan kuusen latvas on pesäs paikka.
Karhun poika sairastaa, häntä hellittämme. Lääkkeillä hoidelkaa, tälle ystävämme. Maito tuore lämpöinen, pyhäks olla voisi. Lehmä korppuvan voimen, eikä unoisi. Lahjaksensa parahin, manto levitellään. Leiteheksi toinenkin, kääritään hellään. Laulu kaunis lauletaan, kuulikiireksensä. Itsekäämme uinumaan hänen mielensä. Lahtikoita vartioi, uskollista meitä, kunnes koittaa haukoi, hän ei meitä heitä. Uimassa ilman, siitä nautitamme. Nälle raukan kuntoon, aluksi jaksamme.
Miten meidän laulu meni? Huvinapa.
Quite many years ago, I wrote a song called Väinämäntä. And it is a song that I just really needed to write when I read about this person, this spirit, this some kind of a figure who was called Väinämäntä. And many of you might know that in the national epic Kalevala, the very first instrument, kantele, which is the national instrument of Finland. It was built by a great big man called Väinämöinen. And Väinämöinen he's probably the most well-known figure in Kalevala. He was such a great singer, such a great shaman, and such a great tietäjä, the one who knows, that he was actually able to die and then come back from the land of the dead. And Väinämöinen built the first kantele. He used the cheekbone of a really, really big fish. And then he played with his kantele, and he played so well that everyone started to cry. All people, all animals, everyone gathered around and just cried. But there is a really interesting place in Sweden called Finnskogarna, the Finnish forests. So back in the 1600s and mostly around 1600s, also a bit before and a bit after in the 1700s, but there was this migration from Finland to Sweden, and back in the days they were the same country, ruled by the same king. So basically it was people moving from east to west. But the Finnish-speaking people moved to the Swedish areas and made a new life, basically. They were actually invited by the king, because these were forests where no one was living, and the king thought that it would be good to have some new people there. And mostly because it was near the Norwegian border, so the king thought that it was good to have someone there. But these people, these Finns, also had a very particular way of burning down the forests and making them into new fields, and this was something that the king really wanted, because then they would have lots of new fields and lots of new things to grow on those fields. And when these people moved, then of course they had with their tradition, they had their songs and they had their incantations. They believed in what they believed in, so they still had a really strong shamanistic world's view, and they were using incantations to pretty much everything. You didn't have a hospital to go to, so you needed the healing spells. And when the researchers started collecting song texts and incantations around 1920, there's some recordings. They found this one text about Väinämäntä, who was playing the kantele, a great big Väinämäntä, who seemed to be kind of like the same person as Väinämöinen, but the researchers think that the word Väinämäntä actually comes from Väinämäntä, Väinämäntä. So it's kind of like a female figure, kind of like some kind of a everyone's mother, a great big mother. And to me that was really intriguing, that all of a sudden there was a female figure who was the greatest singer, who was the builder of the kantele. So I wrote a song for her. Here it is. Vaski vyötälensä. Ite kiveinä määntä. Sinisukkasi tohensa. Nouse ylös kuulemaan. Nouse ylös.
Ooh.